expats, navigating the burial process is more complicated than Mexicans. Due to our potential language problems, lack of familiarity with local customs and laws, and the absence of our support network here remotely. Here are some of the factors that I've identified that we need to consider before planning burial in Mexico. Number one, legal requirements in Mexico. Mexican law is different than the United States and Canada. Think of that. For us to come here and not to understand what is required with the Mexican law, you're setting yourself up for problems. Cultural and religious practices are different here in Mexico than back home in Canada, in the United States. We need to know what those are. Repatriation, have you thought about having you buried in the United States or in Canada? Lots of complexities there. You really know you need to think about what you're doing there before you think that's a good option for you. It is important for expats in Mexico to plan ahead, to be aware of the local regulations and customs related to death and burial. Research your options now and be prepared. To help us with that planning process, we've invited Oliver. He's allowed me to call him Oliver today. He's the CEO of Hardendas Nueva Vida, to give us information on the pre-planning of your burial. So welcome, and please join me.
Hi, good morning to everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm going to talk to you about Jardines Nueva Vida. We are a funeral home here in San Miguel, the most important funeral home in the city. And I'm going to start with some history. I don't know if I can. Oh, okay. That's my picture, but we don't need that. Okay. Well, we're here to talk about the benefits for having a prepaid funeral services. We start with this prepaid funeral services for the foreign community because we are in the city for about 30 years. My father starts this company. My father passed away when he was 46 years. So I started in the company when I was 22. Now I'm 42, so I'm been CEO for 20 years in the company. But about 8 years, we start this program? Yes. 10. Well, we started in about 10 years ago this program because some people ask why we don't do this if we are the only crematorium in the city. We have all the facilities. We are 80 employees in the company, and we are the only cemetery that is not from the government. It's a private cemetery. So we start with this, and okay. Well, I told you that. My father started at that time. Okay, on May 1, 2012, we start this we call resident support program. That is a funeral prepaid service for the foreign community. What is the difference? The difference is that when a Mexican buy a prepaid funeral service, we cannot refund anything. And with this program, we can refund the 90%. That's the difference. But the person that buy the service, it's the person that's going to use. Because the other services, it can be the word is trespassing, I don't know. Transfer, right. Thank you. Sorry for my English. So, to the day we have provided more than 10,000 burial services to the city and over 3,500 cremations. We have provided prepaid funeral services to more than 11,000 families in the city. That's our numbers today. And, well, I know that you have so many questions about the process of the funeral service. So, I need to tell that it's different if it's from a death from a natural cause or a non-natural cause. But I can show you on this picture. The first, when someone needs a service, if you have a prepaid service, we need to call a doctor. If you don't have a doctor, we have like 10 doctors. We start this program with the Dr. Roberto Maxwell. And we have another 9 doctors that help us to make all the arrangements. Then, well, you don't need to contact the doctor. We contact the doctors. We collect the body. I have these questions here from Zoom. We need to wait 12 hours to make the cremation. That's the law in Mexico. It changed, but now it's 12 hours. Before collecting the body? Yes. No, before the law, we need to check the hour of the death. So, who has the power? It's the doctor, because if the doctor put on the death certificate that the death was in 12 hours ago, I can make now the cremation. So don't worry about that. If you want to make the cremation very fast, we can do it, because we can talk with the doctor and they can change the hour. It's very easy. Yes, that's true. So, we wait 12 hours. The doctor waits 12 hours. Then we make all the arrangements for the cremation. We go to the Presidencia Municipal to pay all the taxes, and we go to the it's a government office from the we call it Registro Civil, and there is where we can have the death certificate from Mexico. Okay, then we can make the cremation, get the death certificate, then we are going to give you an urn and all the documents to your relatives, and if you we need to ask for a quota. You know what is that? No? I don't know what's the name in English, but it's like...
It is called the consular report. Okay.
Yeah.
CRODA is the short name of the consular report of the abroad. It's in other words is like the American death certificate that you will use in the United States for closing bank accounts, some bank accounts, and something cases like that.
Yeah, but don't worry, we take care of from that. We have all the communication with the embassies and with the consulate here in San Miguel, and then if you want to travel with your ashes in the plane, you can go, or we can send by paquetería, I don't know, a package, yeah. We can send the urn, yeah. Okay, what are the benefits of having a prepaid funeral service? With a prepaid funeral protection, you will gain support, quality, and peace, representative savings, and no worries for your loved ones. Then, okay, 3 reasons to be with us. Jardines Nueva Vida has its own crematorium, And a private cemetery, it's the only crematorium here in San Miguel. If you go with our competition, you are going to make the cremation in Celaya or Guanajuato or León. We can't go, well, we can, but we don't go to Querétaro because it's another state and the laws are different from Guanajuato. Because we own and operate all of our facilities, we can provide quality services at the lower price. That's the difference. And we have the experience in international services, supports with doctors, attorneys, consulates, and embassies. If you check the page of the embassy, of the United States Embassy, we are the only funeral homes that are certificate with them. And you can check the page. The website, right. What does it include? The cremation and wooden urn, the legal paperwork, and if you want, we can make all the translations from the Mexican death certificate. And you will have like 20 copies of the death certificate in the consulate. Payment of death taxes and municipal fees, and as I say, I can refund the 90% the same day. That's the other difference, because we're a company, a legal company here in Mexico, so you can pay with any card. That's something, it's very easy. You can pay with your card, and I can refund you the 90% the same day, if you need it. So, we have a lot of other services. We have the chapel. We have graves for 1, 2, or 4 people, niche, equal for 1, 2, or 4 urns, national, international transportation, and ashes shipped anywhere in the world. We're going to ship now ashes to British, right? Right. To Great Britain, yeah. Myths. Your relatives have to be in San Miguel de Allende for getting the official death certificate. No, we can do everything. We don't need anyone here. That's our job. Any funeral home can do that. That's why you contract a funeral home. And not everyone can ask for the crowd. And that's the website where you can learn more about this. Okay, that's our cemetery. That's a crematorium. Sorry. That's the main office and the chapels. We are in front of the Red Cross. And the cemetery, it's like 1 kilometer from the Presidencia Municipal. Yes. Yeah, it's one kilometer from the Presidencia Municipal. Yeah. Yes. The street, it's called No Me Olvides, Don't Forget Me. That's the name of the street of the cemetery. And, well, it's in Jardines. Jardines is La Colonia, the neighborhood is Jardines. That's why we was, when my father starts the cemetery, there was nothing there. That's why the first neighborhood is Jardines 1, Jardines 2, Jardines 3. The buses says Jardines. That's why. Okay, so we can take care of everything. I don't know if you have more questions. We have here some flyers to give you all the information. Karina and Gustavo. Karina is it's like the manager, who goes to your home and explains all of this. He can go with the machine to pay with the card and make all the contract in about 10 minutes. So it's very easy. It's very, very simple. So don't worry about that. Um, and I need you to tell something. I think this is going to be the first meeting when I'm going to say this, because, and it's important because that happens for Robin here. Yes, you introduced me with Wilke. It's from the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross Foundation, and we are talking with them from one year ago, more or less. And we start the first, I'm going to read it, first green burial and reforestation site in Mexico with them. So I'm going to give you this information too, because on Saturday, 26, sorry for the, you have your, the breakfast, but at 12, yeah, maybe you can go. We're going to make the big opening from this new cemetery. The difference is that we don't use a casket. We call here in Mexico something like a petate. It's like a, I don't know how to say that, because it's like a wrap, yeah. And it's all natural. And we have this new park, like we refreshed, like 1 acre. And so if you want to join us, we will be so glad. And we are going to have all the week some ¿qué son? Son como, yes, like some topic, no, like charla, I don't know, like speaking? Yes. Here in the Casa de la Cultura, I don't know if you were, okay? At 5 p.m., from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Saturday is going to be the opening of this Green Bureau site. So I don't know if anyone have some questions. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm ready to take questions. Anyone have a question, raise your hand. And I'm coming up to you in the back.
Oh, thank you. Under what circumstances do people want a refund?
In what circumstances, sorry?
Under what circumstances might people want a refund?
Okay, well, it's sometimes they go to another city, or they die in the United States or in a traveling, and I can refund to your beneficiary. Yes.
And I've got a question. I saw on your website you do pet cremations?
Yes, it's SkyPet. It's our brand, and we have, yes, the pet crematorium.
Did I see a hand? There we go.
Yes. How does this compare to the 24-hour association?
What's the difference? Well, the difference is that 24 hours going to our competition to another funeral home, and they contract the funeral home. And we are the funeral home. So that's the difference. And that's a big difference here in Mexico. To make all the, because I can give you all the, we are like a established company. In Mexico, to sell a prepaid service, you need to register, is the word? Yeah, in the government. If not, that's illegal. And we have all the papers and your contract are registered. If I cannot, because in Mexico, there are so many examples that the people goes with the money and you don't have anything. And I can't do that because my properties are like supporting all the services.
We have a question online. Can you give us an idea of the costs involved?
Yeah, the costs are, well, I'm sorry for saying this because the cost it was in dollars, but it changed now a lot, so we are in pesos. It's 40,000 pesos, 14,000 pesos.
14,000 pesos.
14. No, 40, no, 14. 14,000 pesos. It's now like $800, I think, no?
More questions? Wait for the microphone. Got a lot of people on Zoom that want to hear too.
Okay, so the 14,000 pesos is whether you want to be buried or
No, 14
cremated
is only the
or-
cremation.
Okay, so there's burial, there's cremation, and then there's green burial.
That's
Are there
right.
3 different price points for those?
That's right.
And kind of depending on which
That's right.
services you need?
That's right.
So we just need to talk to you.
Right.
And I've heard that there's a limited number of reforestation plots, that there are something like 300, is that right?
365.
Uh-huh. 365, how about that? One for every day, thank you.
But we want to, because
You've had
I have a lot of terrain, so maybe we are going to make bigger, yeah.
What happens in Mexico if you don't have any arrangements, you don't have a will or anything, and you just suddenly drop dead? What happens?
If you are not a Mexican, they are going to call the embassy. They're going to try to search from a family, and if they don't found, you are going to, like we call, fosa común. It's like a public grave. Yeah. Yeah, with all the bodies. Yeah.
What happens if you have an auto accident and you pass and you've driven to the coast and you die there? Do you bring the body back? Is the body brought back, or is it buried? The arrangements have to take place there.
Could you repeat? I'm sorry.
What happens if you die for instance, if you die in Zihuatanejo or someplace else?
Okay, we give you like a card or something that the people can know that you have a prepaid funeral services. And if that happens, they call us, and we are in Mexico. All the funeral homes in Mexico we know. We know each other. So they're going to make the transportation from the body to here, and I can make the cremation.
I want to add something to what you've already shared with us about following up on what Eddie just asked, which is that there is a service with the embassy, with the consulate, for registering people here. And this is not that uncommon, and I'm sure you're aware of it, that some of our neighbors, our expat neighbors that are elderly, pass with no family known. And it's really work for people like Oliver to find family members. So it's not hard to encourage people that you know that might be that to register with the consulate so that they can come and find you,
Yes.
find somebody to help with the final decisions.
That's true. Thank you.
I think that's called the STAR program. STAR program. And you can do it online. Absolutely.
Hi. When you die, do you need 2 death certificates, one for the U.S., one for Mexico?
No, only if your family need it, because I only need the death certificate for Mexico. We can go to the consulate to have the American death certificate, but it's only if you have accounts or you need to cancel your social security number. That's why.
Is that included in your service?
Yes.
Okay. And secondly, 24 has the ability to notify family members of the death. Do you do that also?
Yes. You can give me a letter and fill all the application form, and here we have the names that the families that we are going to call.
saw the hand up here.
Can you please walk us through what exactly would happen in terms of procuring the U.S. death certificate? What would be the response? I have no relatives here.
Okay.
Wouldn't they need proof of who my relative was? What would I have to supply? I have a person here who is going to help in the event that I die. What exactly is the procedure? That person would have to do what? And what kind of paperwork would you need in order to do your part?
Perfect. I only need that person calls me, and that's all that I need, because I have already the copy of your passport, and with that copy, I can do everything.
Okay. But wouldn't the consulate want some kind of proof of who your relative is?
No?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
For example, in the case that you want to ask for the CRODA, the consulate will ask you for if a relative is asking for the CRODA, the consulate will ask for example, a birth certificate where we can see that is your relative, because probably the mother of the name. But in the case that you don't have it, just for example, in this case, you just need a power, or that you put the name of this person in your, how do you say in English? In your will, in your will, in your testamento, in your testamento. I don't know how to say. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
My relative does not have my
Yes, so, yeah, we don't need anything, only to call, and we can do everything. Yes?
What is the time that one should allow for the U.S. death certificate to come?
Yes?
Yes. It used to be 2 weeks before this pandemic situation, but now it takes about 2 months for the consulate will send you by mail, actually, the consular report of the abroad, but it takes 2 months.
Okay. Please remember, we need the microphone so we can share online and on the recording.
To follow up on that, which is the most functional consulate to deal with in Mexico? Which is the best, the most efficient consulate to deal with in Mexico?
Well, we have a very good relationship with the consulate here in San Miguel. Yes. Yeah. We have a direct phone, so we can call at any time, and they help us.
So not Querétaro, not Mexico?
No. Here in San Miguel.
We have additional questions from our Zoom audience.
Yes, thank you.
One is, what is the difference between a natural and an unnatural death?
You okay? The problem is that you are recording. You know? So, because I told you that if the doctor has all the power to say what are the cause of the death. So, if the doctor put there, it's a natural cause, anyone can say anything. And it's easier for everyone. Because if it's not, what's a non-natural cause? An accident, or when the authority thinks that the death it's not natural, like someone poisoned you or something like that. So if you live alone and someone finds you, it could be both, right? So the important is that we have all the doctors, and the doctors say, no, it's a natural cause, don't worry. I know them, he has a heart attack, I know he has a problem, and we can arrange that. Because if not, from 1 year ago, all changes here in Guanajuato. We have now like a CSI site in Guanajuato where all the bodies goes to Guanajuato capital, and then they make all the investigations there. Yes.
There's one more question from Zoom. You said the 14,000 pesos is for cremation.
That's right.
And what are some of the costs for instance, the green burial cemetery plot?
Well, we need to talk. I'm going to give you a number, but we need to talk with the person because we have a lot of services there. Because some people want, yes, case by case, because it could be in a different casket, or someone wants to, they don't want to use a, what's the name for carroza? The vehicle.
Casket?
No, the vehicle that we use.
Oh, the hearse.
Hearse. And if you want to be 100% ecological, you can use like a carreta with the horses. We have already the first green bureau, and we use the carreta. We have, if you go to the opening, you're going to see the video. Or maybe I can give you to share. But that's why it could be different. But the cost of the terrain, if I can say that, or the grave, it's more or less like 37,000 pesos. 37,000. But it's different because you can pay in 24 statements, is the word? Yeah. Yeah. And it's different. And if you pay in one exhibition, it's like 30% of discount. Yeah, 30% of discount, right.
So you are going to pay just... Yes. Since you've seen a lot, what advice would you give people to not have to use your services?
Well,
what do you see the most, would you give advice about healthy, about how to live? What do you see the most of? Wear your seatbelts, don't drink Coca-Cola, what would you say?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best person to say something because maybe you see me like this, but I have 10 operations, and I'm a medical miracle. But I think the most important is to be happy and have the best of your life. And some way to be, it's like this. That's why I'm a Rotarian, because helping other people is the best way to be happy.
I just wanted to ask, you said that the consulate should be aware that you're here. Are you just talking about registering with the U.S. government that you're here?
When you buy our prepaid funeral services, we're going to tell them that you are here, and
okay.
And if
so we don't really have to register.
If something happens, we're going to tell them. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say it's still good to register with STAR in case you're traveling to Europe or someplace else, your other places. It's very easy. It's an online form you fill out one time and you're registered.
I noticed that there's a Christian cross on the on your logo, and I'm just wondering if this is only for Christians.
Okay, that's a very good question. That's the brand that my father starts, but we are open to all the religions. And let me tell you something. We have the Jewish cemetery too, in our cemetery. With JC3, we have it's the Chesma. I don't know if you know Chesma. It's the Jewish community here in San Miguel. And they, like this new green burials, they have a part of our cemetery for the Jewish community. So we have all the religions there.
I just want to say that I'm a member, I'm a happy client, and I have to say that I'm very grateful. When my son passed away, we just have to make one phone call. Gave one number that actually I carry with me in my wallet, and they didn't make a lot of questions. They arranged everything, and we didn't have to deal with nothing. They did everything, P to Pa. They organized, they just help us, guide us, and that's very a big relief to do that. And also, I want to know, you can explain about the rituals you do for November 2nd, because to me it has been amazing. At the beginning, when I didn't use the service, I got a tiny invitation to go to certain stuff, and I did not understand the meaning until I really use the personnel they have, because they bring professionals for grieving and counseling these days, and they make beautiful workshops that has been helping a lot of people go through.
Yes, we have for us it's like a big party, the November 2, because we received like 5,000 people, and we have some like a ceremony. We make a ceremony with butterflies. So it's very, very, well, I don't know how to say that. You need to live that. Yeah. Yes.
I have a question. I have heard that the phone call you do not want to make is to 911 and to the police. Is that correct?
Well, yes. Because if you do that, and I can do the thing that I told you from call the doctor and all that you know now. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us today. This has been extremely informative. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Don't go away. I want you to stay right up here. I got some really fancy coffee mugs to give you guys. But he did hit on the fact that he's also a Rotarian. And Olivero is very, very involved. He will never blow his own horn. About his business, he will. But about what he does with the Rotary is amazing. So I'd like to give you a hand from a Rotary standpoint as well. And here's some coffee mugs or Coca-Cola mugs or whatever you want to keep you happy from us. And there you go. Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting. Anybody?